Hello beautiful souls, this is Diane from Wisdom of the Akashics. Welcome to the video. I'm going to have a discussion today around judging other people's journey. This is something that I've noticed has been coming up a lot lately, and I found it prevalent in a few stories that have been shared with me in the last little while. And they're in the area of judging people on how they grieve. So, for example, somebody has experienced loss in their life. They've lost a loved one, someone close to them, and people outside of that story and outside of that situation decide how somebody should grieve, how long they should grieve, they're still grieving, all of that stuff. And that's just really judgment. There's no other way to describe it, call it as it is. It's judgment. We don't know their journey. We don't know the extensiveness of their relationship. And because I'm an Akashic record consultant, I also look deeply into people's past lives. And those people may have had many lifetimes together, and so their grieving process and the loss that they're experiencing can be far beyond what we understand on the physical third dimensional level. So I want to talk about really cautioning you when we think we know someone else's story or how someone else should grieve, or if somebody's going through a challenge, somebody's going through, say, some depression, and the people around them want them to just snap out of it. Again, we don't know their story, we don't know their wounds. Most people, in all honesty, the ones that I work with, have kept a tremendous part of their story secret, quiet. Something that may have happened to them when they were younger, some choices they may have made coming into adulthood that they're not proud of. So they actually keep that inside of themselves, they stuff it, and then that shows up as depression, it shows up as dis-ease in the body, things like that. And again, we're like, what's wrong with that person? They have a great life. You look at them, you think they have a job, you know, they have a reliable car. And again, who are we to judge? So I really want to suggest to everyone that as soon as you catch yourself in that place, or you catch yourself having that conversation with somebody about someone else, just become very cognizant of that and stop yourself. Stop the story, stop suggesting it, stop having conversations about it, because we truly do not know. We don't understand what that person's history is. We don't understand the level and the depth of a relationship they may be feeling loss over. And sometimes we can have somebody in our life that we don't even particularly get along with really well, yet we're grieving very deeply over them because the relationship wasn't at its best. And because we start to think, I should have been more forgiving, I should have been more this, shouldn't have been more that, that can take the grieving process to a deeper level, which can also then bring in depression and things like that, disconnection, you know, staying outside of their community of friends and family. And all of that is something that we want to be really cognizant about if we're judging somebody else's journey. It could be in their relationships. You could have a friend and you don't like their partner, and they maybe don't even have a healthy relationship, but it's not our place to judge their choices. They may have some sort of past life contract that they're working on. They may have some sort of unrighteous agreement at a soul level. This is all the kind of stuff that we can learn and find out in the Akashic records. But it's part of it is just that third dimensional place of where we sit in judgment of people. I remember growing up, and one of the reasons I didn't really enjoy church or didn't like going to church was because I actually thought it was just a room full of people that gathered that were hypocrites. Because I saw the behavior during the week, I saw the way people could be treated, I saw the way that they judged, I saw the way that they manipulated things, spent their money, you know, had affairs and all of that. I was a highly, highly aware soul at a very young age, and then they'd go to church on Sunday, and it was like they would just as long as they went and filled the pot on Sunday and showed up and put money in the thing, it was like they could be forgiven. They didn't have to think about their behavior. And then as long as they came back next Sunday, everything was forgiven. I don't believe in a punishing God. I never have. It's also something else that didn't work for me. We were always taught to be afraid of God, to confess your sins and stuff like that. So I never really resonated with that, which is why I don't consider myself a religious person. I'm a very spiritual person. And I was actually asked recently that somebody said they were shocked that I believed in God because I didn't attach my God to a religion. And I have a deep relationship and belief in God. I just don't find that he's only in a Catholic church or a Protestant church or a Mennonite church. And I believe that when we think that way, we actually support division rather than union and unity. So again, it's something else. Watch, where are you judging somebody for their choices? And if we are just going to church and thinking that we get absolved because we show up, but during the week we can behave any way we want, then you would really want to look at that. Like, where am I playing that role where I'm a hypocrite and yet judging people? I always used to love the saying about, pay attention to your own grass. We're always looking over at the neighbors and judging their garden and their weeds, and yet we can have our own life can be absolutely full of them. And very often that is actually a really big indicator, is when we're in a place where we're kind of always talking about people rather than, about issues, about ways to provide solutions, the things that are challenging on the earth right now, and how to be part of a solution. It's also why I don't watch any mainstream news, because I don't believe in it. I don't trust any of it. And so I choose not to have it as part of my food in, because I believe food in is food out. What we take in is what reflected out into the world. And so we can always have doubt for people. I feel like that if you recognize that there's ways that we are being kind of, we could all call it manipulated. When you're being manipulated, that you can actually see that you're buying into a way that divides people rather than brings unity to people. And so I just want people to recognize that if you see somebody that's had a big loss in their life, they may have lost a job, they may have lost a loved one, they may be making a career change, and if you in any way are thinking that you understand that story, that would be the first place I would start, is going, no, I'm not in that person's shoes. I'm not walking in their shoes. I haven't lived their stories. And so much of what goes on in our lives, we really actually do keep very quiet. We may come to somebody and share it with a coach, with a mentor. Like when people come to me, they often share personal stories with me because I have a gift of being able to help them through it and to come above it and to see themselves in the light that they truly are. And as humans, the human journey is to learn from trial and error. I just always teach people that if you're not liking your circumstances, what can you do differently to create them where you are enjoying them, where you are feeling impacted, where you are feeling like you're contributing? Because everybody is a unique, beautiful snowflake. That's something that I always work with my clients, is for them to recognize we're not trying to be like anyone else. And if anybody comes in and I see them even trying to say, be like me, I'm saying you don't want to be. You want to take the good information I have for you, but you want to always apply that back to yourself. So this is just a short video to talk about that. If you see yourself in that place where you're thinking, wow, that person, it's been this long since they lost someone, we don't know what their story was, and I really caution you to be part of that. If you are sitting around a group of people and you all of a sudden hear that everybody's just joining in on the story, that's when you get to make a change, and you can say, you guys, we don't know their journey, so I'd appreciate it if we didn't talk about them, and we're talking about them behind their back. And that's again something that we don't want to do or be known for doing. And I believe in the law of reciprocation. So if I'm making those calls, if I'm doing that judgment, if I'm in that judgmental place, I can't even be remotely surprised when it shows up in my own life. So there's some soul food for the soulful today. Any ladies want to come and join me at my private Facebook group, the Aha Momentum, you're welcome to come on over there. And my business, Wisdom of the Akashics, I'm an advanced Akashic record consultant and soul transformation mentor. And I have a program, and I'm actually doubling my rates come June 1st. So if anyone has been sitting on the fence and thinking of coming to work with me, now is the time. I've been guided through my own work, my own records, and through my own coaching and mentoring that I get that it's time to up-level my business and also up-level my rates, because I really put my heart and soul into the people that I work with, have such great testimonials and feedback from them, and it's time for me to step up and step up higher into my own story. So God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for coming to the video, and have a blessed and wonderful day. Diane Lang, Wisdom of the Akashics.